right, great good evening to wherever you find yourself. This is the First Capital Plus Premier League show on the Joy Sports channel on Multi TV. I'm George Addo Jr. Yes, tonight we sit again to talk about how to move the league forward. And one of the big discussions tonight will be what exactly is happening. Where have we gotten to in that little fight with the King Faisal and the Ghana Football Association? Of course, in the mix of all of this, Aduana Stars as well. So tonight on the show, we'll be giving you at least the angle that you really need to get it. We have been speaking a lot to our lawyer Edgar Thable, who is the counsel for King Faisal. He's been speaking a lot more about King Faisal's stance on the issue. Today, we'll be talking some more about the Aduana Stars and their stance on the issue and really what they think should be done and what hasn't been done. We'll try and unravel all of these things as we go on. And even before I came on air, I was also giving some tips of that there's been just a writ that has been already, giving to Aduana Stars. So we'll get into all of these things just to add up to that. But of course, we cannot do this show without talking about Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. We saw what happened at the Accra Sports Stadium. It's been flying around. I don't know what you have to say about referee Agbovi's decision to award Hearts of Oak a penalty and how you saw it. Well, the penalties get very controversial these days, but the referees definitely have the final say, and they do that. So we'll find out what you make of that as well. And then we'll go around and look at the formations, look at how the teams played and how strong they are going into next season. We're asking you the question on our Facebook page, just Joy Sports. Just get onto it. The question is, would you be very excited, or why would you advise club administrators to go ahead with more high-profile friendlies as we anticipate the league start? Because as we sit here, we don't know when the league is starting. That's one of the questions. And of course, what's your assessment of the Accra Hearts of Oak Asante Kotoko friendly that was played over 2 legs in Kumasi and Accra? You can also send us your messages on our short code 1760. I'm George Addo Jr. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, you know what to expect on the First Capital Plus Premier League show. Thank you very much for staying there with us. You're still live on the Joy Sports channel on Multi TV. I'm George Addo Jr. The show is the First Capital Plus Premier League, and here you know what we talk about, everything that concerns you, everything that is prime and suited for the Ghanaian League and the very best of it. Tonight on the show, I'll be introducing my guests, but let me quickly run by you what's on our Facebook page. It's Joy Sports. The question is, why would you advise club administrators to go ahead and organize high-profile friendly games as we anticipate the league start? Not only that's what we're asking you about Hearts of Oak, Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I know you're in Kumasi watching us right now. What do you make of your team? And how about the Accra fans watching us now? What do you make of your team as well? And let's get the lines, because there was also some derbies, derbies that took place across the length and breadth of the country. Let's hear from you. Maybe we are not talking about your club and the friendly you played. You can just let us know on the Joy Sports page on Facebook as well. You can do so on a short code 1760. It's always great to have lovely guys in the studio, and today I have one big man who has also been so traveled in this league. He was with Accra Hearts of Oak for some time. He sang the Phobian song very much. I remember those days when I used to call him from Radio Universe. Not only that, he moved into Media Mercy for a while, and now he's with Aduana Stars, and not just there. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Aduana Stars. The man is Albert Comey. There is a Yaya in the name. He will explain that to me. So Albert Yaya Comey is in the studio. Mr. Comey, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
What is this Yaya in the name? Is it a part of your name, or it's been adapted?
It is. Let me. The media has shortened my name.
Okay.
My full name is Albert Comey Aite.
Oh, Aite.
So okay. Mr. Aite, not Mr. Comey, as the media always call.
Hope you're not going to take us to court on this.
Oh
one.
no, I'm okay with that. They've given me a brand.
So then the Yaya, how did the Yaya come?
My father was a Muslim.
Okay.
I did not stay with him. I stayed with my grandma. Okay. That's my paternal grandma. So I got to know my parents when I was entering secondary school. Okay. That was way back in '83, and I got to know that my father named me Yahya.
Okay.
And one of the media guys, Abate, who happens to be coming around where I've been playing football,
realized it.
Had somebody called me Briaya, and he took it on radio.
And started calling.
And then they fixed it in.
Okay, if your name is ever going to be uncovered, it's going to be uncovered by multimedia journalists. That I promise you. That's just going to be. It's going to be a multimedia journalist who will uncover your name, and so that's why the Yaya is in it. And great trivia for you this evening if you're just joining us as well. Daniel Apia joins me in the studio. He's a great journalist as well. Has been following the two clubs, and tonight he'll be doing justice to the Hearts and Kotoko thing as early as maybe 8 a.m. in the morning on Sunday. He was going through not the Bible, but going through Hearts of Oak and Kotoko lineups. Daniel, welcome to the studio. How are you doing this evening?
Thank you, George.
It's great to have Daniel. Why don't we just get straight into into it. A number of changes in for Accra Hearts-of-Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But let's have a look at what it really looked like in terms of the teams that played at the Accra Stadium. And you know what the result was. It was 1-1. You want to call it a coefficient penalty or whatever you want to give it. Well, it was a penalty that referee Agbovi awarded to Accra Hearts-of-Oak, and they only scored. Ruben Nyani getting the equalizer for Hearts-of-Oak. And of course, Frank Safu Jefi sent in the cross, was turned in by Vincent Atinga. Let's have a look at what happened out there. All right, so that was it. That's how Accra Hearts-of-Oak got that all-important equalizer. I'm not too sure what the story would have been if Accra Hearts-of-Oak lost again at the Accra Stadium. It just saved them. Referee Agbovi was in it. Let me turn to you, Daniel, first of all. What do you make of that penalty?
George, I guess it wasn't a penalty when you look at the kind of officiating that we saw on Sunday in that game at the Onyinye Sports Stadium. For me, I believe that referee Agbovi must sit up. He's one of the best referees in the country, and to award such, let me choose my word carefully, dubious penalty to Accra Hearts-of-Oak on the day. If it was to be a league match, probably don't know what would have happened. Would have witnessed main half again in Ghana, but this was just a friendly match between us and Kotoko, and for me, I guess you need to sit up. This kind of officiating will not help in the league, and we have been calling that our referees must go international to officiate games. So if referee Agbovi can give such a penalty to Accra Hearts-of-Oak, for me, I believe in my books, I have issues with that.
I don't know if that is the case, Mr. Comey. Let me just find out. I don't know if that is the case. It's a friendly game, and you might not want to have a go at the referee, certainly, but yes, a friendly game was played in light spirits. But does it really matter what sort of penalty and the way it's given?
Well, I did not see it very clearly, the way I want to see it.
We want to see, yes.
But the question is, was there any contact?
No, it was contact.
Contact. If there is a contact.
And you want to give the benefit of the doubt to them?
To the referee, because
you've been at the Accra Hearts-of-Oak before.
No, in fact, let me tell you one thing. I'm a match commissioner.
Yes, I know that.
Sometimes you need to be fair and balanced with your decisions. It happens. They are human beings. They need to take the decision within a split of a second. And sometimes you need to go for it when you are very sure of what you've taken. And it's a very, very difficult decisions to make, especially when it involves Hearts-of-Oak and Kotoko, because a lot of dynamics comes to play. I don't fault my brother for saying that it's a dubious penalty, but I think it's a too harsh a word, because if you look, I saw two
players going
Player
there.
going.
On the right hand
I didn't
side.
know what
There's
happened.
a little bit tap in there.
And then
He loses the balance, falls
Yes,
in the referee sees it, slides away.
Well, whether he lost balance or whatever happened, I don't know. It's for those who are at Accra Sports Stadium on the day
Today.
and those who are very close to the incidents to take the decision. But I thought I didn't see it clear for me to make a decision on it.
Okay, yeah, so that's it. Referee Agbovi will still find a way to go in. I'm not too sure there's going to be any punishment for that, though. Let's now talk about the team and how they played. We'll talk about Accra Hartsburg, and in a very short while, you see the Accra Hartsburg formation on your screen. You know what the backlash was. The first game when they played against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, it was loudly said that, yes, the team played with a lot of inexperience. So he was looking to bring in some experienced players, and let's see how they fettered it all. It was Ruben Nyani in defense alongside Visitor Tinga, who was playing the game again. He played the first leg, but there was Kweku Ando, who suddenly came into the right back. There was no Fatal Mohammed, crucially. Isaac Udru also dropped in there. And then there was Leonard Teria playing alongside Richard Yama, the import from Hazakis, and you see those three defenders. There's Kwame Kizito, lovely chip on the block, can you say? There was Hayford, Emmanuel Hayford, and he also coming into the side. There was Gilbert Fiamenyo, and there was Abbey. Danny, let's first of all assess the Accra Hartsburg defense. The only thing that changed was Kweku Ando, who came in for Fatal Mohammed. How did you see that defense?
For me, I believe that when you look at Ruben Nyani, he has been in the defense for Accra Folk since last season. He has been there. He was playing well for Accra Folk, and Kweku Ando also played well for Accra Folk over there. But Tinga is now coming into the field of Accra Folk, as well as Isaac Udru. For me, I believe the pair was okay, but just that they've not yet played together.
They haven't gelled,
the back four have not played together well. So the telepathy and understanding will not be there. Was not there for Accra Folk. But looking at the back four, for me, I guess it was okay. And if these four can continue as we saw them play in the first league and the second league, I guess Accra Folk will have a strong defense when the season is able to begin.
The real question for Accra Hartsburg is who sits in front of that defense, because very much last season it was Mura Abubakar, and if there was no Mura Abubakar, we saw some players coming in to try and do something. It's just remember there's one other guy, Agban, it was Romeo Agban, also something came in to do that job for them.
Kofi Abanga as well.
Yeah, the Kofi Abanga as well. There's no Mura Abubakar, and they're looking at the likes of Leonard Teria to do their job, because Richard Yama would definitely be giving an opportunity to play slightly upfield. Do you think Leonard Teria is becoming that sort of player who can slot in for Mura Abubakar direct?
After the first leg in Kumasi, their coach did mention that he has issues with the midfield pair of Leonard and the other Yamua, because this is the first time he's putting the two together in the midfield for Accra Folk, and they've not yet played together as two players over there for Accra Folk. So Coach Ado did mention that he was going to work on the two players before the league gets started, because when you play tough matches and you put these two new boys over there, I guess you are going to have issues, especially in the first leg where they considered 2 goals. And the coach did mention that the two players in the midfield were losing all the passes that they were giving. Yeah, were 40 passes that they were giving, and he realized that he was going to work on it on the second leg when they played here at Accra Sports Stadium. For me, I believe that more work needs to be done if Ado is going to keep Leonard and Yamua in the midfield for Accra Folk when the season begins. Else it will be difficult, because most of the play will depend in the midfield for Accra Folk. And if you have these 2 young boys who are now coming together to play, I guess they must know each other well, so that they will be able to get a telepathy between themselves, so that they will be able to produce the needed passes and the chances to create for the strikers to also make sure that they put the ball in the net for Accra. So for me, I believe that there's work to be done on the two. As they continue to play together, they will be able to gel together, and they will be of useful help to Accra Folk.
And it will be interesting to find out what Mr. Coleman makes of this. He's putting down the notes, he's seeing the players up on the board as well. And we'll also find out what Adriana starts doing. But Mr. Coleman, I'll be bringing you in though. Let's look at the attack as well. Emmanuel Hayford came into the club with Selassie J. Somewhat. Selassie J was a man who was expected to be scoring goals. He hasn't scored so far. Emmanuel Hayford has been so lightning. That's why you see him in the squad again. But they on the left hand side and right hand side, they've been trying players. We saw Paul Aqua the last time tried out. We saw Sean October, who hasn't scored a goal yet in October for some reasons. Never mind though. But let's have a look at that. Hayford comes into the squad as well. Kwame Kizito proved that he could do something. Thomas Abe, we know a lot about him. There's Gilbert Fiamenyo. But they don't seem to be scoring goals. That is the problem of this Hartsburg team, not only against Kotoko, but in all the friendlies they played.
George, I believe that with the striking pair of Accra Folk, when you look at Accra Folk last season, they were even struggling when Hayford was not able to score. And for Fiamenyo cannot guarantee 15 goals within a season. You understand? He has been on the injury list for some time now. And look going into this game, Accra Folk knew that they have issue with their final third on the pitch. And Firmino is not a striker you can rely on for the season. And Aford also was on injury, he just returned, so he was not all that much fit for.
Are you suggesting that they need to buy another
striker?
They
need to get a striker.
And they wanted a Toure. Okay, well, we know where Toure's family is, but they need a striker, don't they?
They really need a striker, else it will be difficult for Accra when the season begins, because Aford was on the injury list. Although last season he did well for Accra, Firmino, you cannot depend on Firmino to get you the goals, because he keep on missing glorious opportunities, and most of the fans of Accra are not enthused about his performance for Accra. So for me, I believe that Ado he need to work hard. Either if he's going to keep Firmino as his main striker for Accra when the season begins, they need to work hard, because Hayford is good, but he also cannot guarantee 15 goals within a season, just like Firmino.
And even Hayford is more of a catalyst. He's not going to be your main striker.
That is the issue. So you're going to depend on Firmino for the season. And for me, I believe that Firmino is not that kind of striker who can get you the needed goals when it matters most.
Situation there. Herbert Ado has to also think about the goalkeeping department, because it looks like Tete Lugard might be switching comes to Accra Great Olympics. And you know what the star plot really is with Accra Great Olympics. There is former coach David Duncan in the waiting, and he'll be snatching a number of players. We hear the likes of Gordon Atrama all going over there. That's the situation there for Coach Herbert Ado. So that's it. Let's quickly roll over now and look at what happened with Kumasi Asante Kotoko and do the analysis. It's a team that is looking very, very strong. We'll have the formation on your team, a pretty 4-1-4-1 formation by Didi Dramani. They have everything. They're probably not thinking too much about the league. They feel they might definitely win it again. They're thinking about what to do in Africa, and he explains why they're buying on and on. Let's talk about Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and that goes up there. We saw the performances of Stephen Adam today and the Black Stars, and I'm talking about him because he's a member of the First Capital Plus Premier League. We're excited about him, aren't we? But of course, real questions about what he did, and there are talks that maybe Joseph Ado should be given an opportunity to the Black Stars. What do you make of that, first of all? I
strongly believe that session, because Joseph Ado has really done well for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Last season, when he came in, there was Azeka Mwakun, there was Sulama, and he managed to find his way out to be the number one for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So for me, I believe that Joseph Ado needs to be given the chance to also have at least a chance with the Black Stars, because when you look at our goalkeepers now, Fatau Dada has been absent.
Fatau Dada is also part of the First Capital Plus Premier League.
So I think
we're supplying goalkeepers
for some months now. Fatau Dada has not been active, and just like the Adriana keeper as well, but he has been playing for Adriana Stars. He played for the local Black Stars. He went for the World Cup. I know the CEO is. He went with the team to Brazil but when you look at Joseph Ado, he has really done well for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and I guess he needs to be given a chance to also play for the Black Stars.
Joseph Ado, my namesake. We see the Ados have helped Ghana footballers a lot, and you have to make a lot of reference to that. I mean, Mr. Komi, you know that the Ados have helped Daniel Ado and the George Ados have helped. But let's talk about the Black. I mean, the Kumasi Asante Kotoko in their setup. Let's get to defense. We saw we know Abeku is going to be almost there. He's going to serve as the bumper there.
He wasn't part of the squad.
He wasn't part of the squad today, but I mean on Sunday. But then he's there for them. So even if there are concerns, they missed Kwabena Edu. Say they have to find somebody to get into that. That's Brenya and Kwesi Champong who came in. Did he impress you, Kwesi Champong?
When he was with Wild Stars, he was playing so well. So I guess he also need time to fit into the team of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, because it has always been Brenya and Abeku Enesin who have been playing together, or either Abeku Enesin and Echapo doing their pre-season training matches. So for me, I believe that he also needs time to play with the rest of the defenders, so that he'll be able to get into the game for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But when you look at
him,
that is.
Let's talk about the fullbacks.
For Kotoko, they have no issue with their. Amos has been there for some seasons now. Rahim Ayew, we also know what he can do over there. Either he plays at the number 2 position or the left back. So for me, I believe that Kotoko has a strong defense, and going into the league as well as Africa, we are just hoping that they will be able to
do something.
Get the needed results.
But I think they have a problem. Don't they have a problem? They have a problem. There's no Michael Akufu. Michael Akufu is not around, and Michael Akufu
is back into the camp.
He's back into the camp, so that's the good thing.
Yeah,
that's the good thing for them. They don't have issues at all. Because I was looking at Labi Kumson. Has he impressed you?
Yeah, last season he did play a couple of matches for Kotoko, and he did well. He did well. Just that he's also injury prone. That is his issue.
And he cannot be a slot in for. So it's good that Michael Akufu is back in the camp.
So Akufu is back. And they were even working on Max Thatcher as well, but his contract will expire in December. So he will come back in December to play for them. So Kotoko, for me, they have no issues with their defense.
Can we look at the attack as well? Let's just have a look at the attack. I think Impong is doing fantastic work as well. And Frank Safu Jemfi is bursting onto the scene and doing very well. But of course, Toure.
I don't know what to say.
I know you don't want to.
I don't.
We don't want to talk about Toure. No Toure. But of course, what do you make of those two wingers?
I guess we know.
Safu Jemfi now.
Yeah, Safo Jemfi and Impong, we know what Impong can do when anytime he's playing for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and Safo Jemfi we also know what he's capable of doing. So for me, I believe that Kotoko now have a strong squad, and we are just hoping that they will get the needed results when they start playing active and important matches. And for Ahmed Toure, we know what he can do. He was with Kotoko, he went, he's back again, and we all know the exploit of Ahmed Toure. I remember when I used to watch him at the Barbara Sports Stadium, and some of the kind of goals he used to. I remember Kotoko against Kifesa, it was 1-1, getting to the end of the game, and he just lashed on to some strong, powerful shots straight into the net for Kotoko for a 2-1 win. So we know the ability of Ahmed Toure, and we are hoping that he will be able to repeat what we saw when he was with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. This is his coming back. Probably we may not be able to see that exploit that he did for Kotoko when he was with them during his first time with Kotoko, but he has come back again, and we are hoping to see that he will be able to grant the needed results for Asante Kotoko when the game begins.
Well, that's Daniel for you, and Daniel has spent quite a number of, most part of it, 7 years in Kumasi, and so he was struggling to just detach away. He was saying yes. It goes on something very difficult, but let me just do this before we take a break, because Albert is going to be doing a lot of talking when we go for the break and come. But let me find out what you make of Accra Hearts v Kotoko and what you saw in building up to it, because Aduana Stars hopefully will be part of the league next season.
Well,
okay, don't mind my statement. That was a sarcastic statement. Just keep it there.
Anyway.
And let's go ahead and let's talk about Hearts Kotoko.
Matches involving the two sides has always been very difficult to organize, because it involves a lot of security issues. So for me, putting up this game has been very good, because there's a need for us to make sure that we see more of Kotoko and Asafok. They are the two most glamorous clubs that we have in this country. Anytime you play them, to me, we don't look at form guide. They are in the preseason still, because the league hasn't started. And I know that the coaches are doing what we call permutation. When we organized the top 4, we saw the Kotoko team, and they were stagnant. And I think they realized that they need to do a lot of work. They rope in about 5 players, and I think that is working for them. Don't underestimate the Hearts team, because they are young, very enterprising, and I know that when they find their rhythm, they may play better than people are seeing them now. Coach Ado is a big factor, because I know his system. He always closes the game when he gets the goal. He doesn't score more, but he makes sure that at least he's very efficient when it comes to his defensive system. So Kotoko happens to have a player like Ahmed Toure who can turn half chances into goals. And when I saw the first match they played, the defender underrated what Toure can do.
And he took advantage
I thought they could have closed him down more than what they did. And the midfield of Kotoko is the engine. So you need to make sure that you also look at that. I'm looking forward in playing friendly matches with them and see how good they are.
Okay, but so you had it here. But if you understand, we'll try and test their power and really what they're reason they can do against Accra Hearts and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. There's a lot coming in now. Aidan is on our Facebook page, and Aidan says that Kotoko all the way. I think I know where you're coming from. And of course, Ejekum is also asking the question, and he says that when is the league going to start? Well, when is the league going to start? We're going to start talking about the league very soon. But let's first of all hear from Coach Herbert Ado. He's been talking after the game.
When you ask me these kind of questions, I feel I don't even know how to answer, because what I'm looking for in my players, I saw a lot, not all, and I was trying them, and it's the only time to try them and see their work rate, their condition, everything, is to play them in match situation. And this is a match situation where we are playing against the champions. Don't forget, the champions of Ghana, and they are preparing for Africa. They're not even worried about Ghana, they're worried about Africa. They want to do fantastic in Africa. So they're also well prepared. They've got their whole team together. They've got 1 or 2 players to strengthen the team. And so if we're able to draw with them and play with them toe-to-toe, whereby we have players who are on trial, we are testing them, we are combining them. They are new players. We have a lot of new players. I think they did very well. I think they did very well. I'm looking for them to improve. I mean, tomorrow like this, we'll go and correct all the mistakes, put them through the scene again, revise what we did, and hoping they will see the picture, and then we just go ahead. Preparation, that's what we're doing now. We don't know when it's going to start, so we'll play, we'll train, we'll play, we'll train. Hopefully that when the time comes for the league, we'll be ready, both conditionally, technically, and tactically. Well, they are seeing it. They come to train. They see what we are doing at training. You know, they see those who are willing, those who are in training, and those who bring them to matches. They see all the things that's going on. So I'll tell them that they should keep on coming to training. Encourage the boys. You know, and if there are any problems, they need to tell us. They have to tell us, and we'll put everything together. Now we are a team. Directors, technical, supporters, everybody. We are now a team. So together we will succeed.
So he says that they are a team, but listen, the best time to be a team is before the season, not when the season has started. It's always very difficult because a lot of scattering into and scuttling when the results are not going the way you want it to go to. I know that Accra Hearts fans are looking at wresting the Premier League away from Kumasi Asante Kotoko, but Asante Kotoko won't flinch and want to do it. When we return after this break, we're going to be talking more about what is happening between Ken Faisal and the Ghana Football Association. Of course, we have Mr. Komi here. He's part of this whole deal. Not a real part of the deal, but he's sitting outside there. But he has everything of him in that deal. So we'll talk about it. And I was telling you that there's a writ that has been, they've been served some writs. We'll just go into all of that and find out where we are. At least I can give you an idea of how close we are to the league starting. I'm back into this.